From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
We'll get out there and enjoy one more dry and mild day. It was noticeably a little bit cooler in some spots yesterday, especially with that cloud cover moving in, a little bit of that breeze too. Temperatures are going to drop by a few degrees again today. In fact, the valley I think will struggle to get into the 70s in many locations here, but I'd also expect to possibly see a little bit more sunshine as well. But overall, I do expect some bigger changes coming into the picture by tomorrow. We're looking at cooler temperatures, and not to mention, of course, the rain moving in as well. Snow levels eventually dropping to as low as about 3,000 feet, but I think on average as low as about 3,500 feet. And this unsettled weather pattern, once it moves in, it's going to stick around for a while, at least through the middle of next week, if not longer. I mean, this is what the long-range forecast models are really kind of pointing out here. Now, we look at our forecast here for today. Yeah, again, a few clouds out there. Not as much, I think, especially for the north end of the valley, but Siskiyou, Modoc County, you're looking at, of course, partly to mostly cloudy skies, but dry conditions. I mean, across the board, it's going to be drier. But the key is cooler air is beginning to move in, or at least the warmer air is moving out. The ridge of high pressure is breaking down. But we can see here for the north coast, maybe a little bit of low clouds, a little bit of fog out there. Inland, partly cloudy skies and dry, not to mention dry conditions out in Trinity County as well. So there you can see the system that passed through us yesterday. This was able to move through, but was still kind of breaking through the ridge of high pressure. And that's why it really didn't bring us a lot of rain. Now looking at some of the rainfall totals, most of it was in the north coast. Even parts of Trinity County saw about 100, 200ths of an inch of rainfall, and that was really about it. So this was really being broken apart by the ridge. However, now that the ridge is really breaking down, this is the next storm system that'll be moving in, but it won't be here until tomorrow. So let's take a look at what we can expect as the storm system passes through, and there's going to be enough instability for a chance for a few thunderstorms out there. Not only tomorrow, but I think even Saturday we could see some thunderstorms out there as well. Not expecting anything severe, not expecting any tornadoes, but maybe some small hail associated with some of these thunderstorms, and we can take a look at the intensity of the storm as it passes through. Now, of course, today, looking at some pretty decent weather again. Again, that dry and mild conditions I was talking about. But you see how we're still seeing some clouds out there, but still dry conditions. There is the leading edge of the first band of rain that'll be moving through, and there it is. By 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're seeing that cold front passing through the north coast. Now notice, we're just not seeing much blue on the map. That's, of course, the lack of snow. So you have to go up pretty high in elevation. I've got 5,000 to 6,000 feet snow elevation here through the day on Friday. Now, we are seeing more snow as we start getting into the higher elevations now, but there you can see that band of rain is just beginning the leading edge of it, making its way even as early as 7 a.m. on Friday, maybe some light showers for parts of the valley. But as we go into the mid to late morning hours, the valley now getting in on some of that heavier rainfall. Now, keep in mind, there could be some embedded thunderstorms in there, maybe some small hail, and not to mention even some gusty winds along the cold front itself as well. But again, you have to go 5,000 to 6,000 feet before you start seeing that snow. Now we go to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now that cold front is to the east of the valley. Susanville, El Turris, Bernie, you're all seeing some of this. But we're really not seeing a lot of blue on the map, again, due to the fact that we are seeing those snow levels fairly high. So it's not going to have a huge impact on your travel, just the fact that you'll be dealing with those wet roadways, but some of the higher mountain passes may have some chain requirements by tomorrow afternoon. There you can see by 5 p.m., now the bulk of it's way off to the east, but now what we're dealing with here as we go into Friday night and Saturday is a cold and unstable layer is still in place, and these disturbances will begin to move on through. So as you can see here, we're dry for Friday night into early Saturday morning, but there's the next round kind of pushing on through, and that's going to give us that next round of showers, maybe some thunderstorms here, even late for us Friday night into early Saturday morning. That's Saturday morning at 3 a.m. But notice the snow levels too. Now they're starting to drop as that colder air begins to move in. So you can see here as we go into 10 a.m. on Saturday, we're seeing that next round begin to move in. So this is going to be the overall nature of our showers once that main first cold front passes through tomorrow. Is off and on showers and maybe some thunderstorms on Saturday, and then just maybe off and on showers into Sunday. Rainfall totals, it might be overdoing it here through Saturday morning, but I do expect about a half an inch to, on average, 3/4 of an inch of rainfall once all is said and done through Saturday morning for the valley, and maybe a little bit more than that here for the coast. Still have that winter storm watch basically for Friday through Saturday night. 1 to 2 feet of snow is a very good possibility, but again, high elevation, 5,000 feet and higher. We could see up to 3 feet of snow at some of the highest peaks. So again, this is going to have a really good impact on our snowpack. All right, we take a look at the forecast snow totals. And there you can see, I think, we could pick up a few inches of snow for places like Mount Shasta, maybe a little bit more hard pressed for Dunsmuir as that's getting into a lower elevation. But Chester, Quincy, yeah, all seeing that potential, and even that potential for some light snow out towards Alturas as well. All right, so let's take a look at the snowfall impacts. And, the thing is snow levels do drop as we go into your Friday night and Saturday. That may have an impact on your travel. Now you can see it's not very large impacts, not very widespread, but just keep in mind, as we start getting those snow levels down to about 3,500 feet, that could impact some of your travel, especially as you start heading east of I-5. A Caltrans should really be able to keep a good handle on those road conditions. Taking a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the low to mid 60s today. So it will be noticeably cooler out there again for today, with 61 degrees for Eureka, maybe a chance for a few thunderstorms going into your Saturday, and maybe even a chance for thunderstorms going into your Friday as well. But there you can see your inland forecast. Rain, showers could be heavy at times, especially on Friday into Saturday, and then off and on showers for really all of next week, quite honestly. Looking at the Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, 65 degrees for Wairika, 67 for Happy Camp today, but cooler off into central and eastern Siskiyou County in the mid to upper 50s there. For your Modoc County neighborhood forecast for today, 60 in Fort Bidwell, 59 for Tule Lake, and 61 degrees for California Pines. And there you can see the eastern mountains, temperatures low 60s. Although Doyle about 65, 64 degrees for Paradise, Shingletown 61, up the road from Shingletown and Viola, about 55 degrees at that higher elevation. 70 in Corning, 70 for Los Molinos. You can kind of get the idea here. Temperatures right around or just barely dodging that 70-degree mark. As you can see here, Redding about 69, 64 degrees for Whiskeytown, 69 in Bella Vista, Palisadro about 70, as well as Red Bluff. So looking at your 7-day forecast for Redding, now, don't look at that and go, oh my goodness, it's going to be thunderstorms all day long Friday. No, it's just going to be rain, could be heavy at times, especially as that main cold front passes through on Friday with a chance for thunderstorms. Now, we'll have cold and unstable air on Saturday. That'll bring us another round of thunderstorms possibly for Saturday afternoon and really even into Friday night as well. And then Sunday all the way through Wednesday of next week, we got off and on chances for showers. So yes, today is the last dry day, and then each and every single day there will be a chance for showers. Some days heavier rain than others. Some days maybe even a few lightning strikes as well. That is a look at your forecast to kind of get you out the door this morning. If you want to stick around, do that. We're going to be doing that deep dive forecast. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that there is a free Weather NorCal app that I want you to go ahead to your app store in your iPhone or Google Play Store in your Android and search for Weather NorCal. Download the app for free. Everything that's available on Weather NorCal is available right there on your phone. All right, let's take a look at that deep dive forecast. There's the area of low pressure right here. That's what's going to be impacting us on Friday. We have that calm before the storm, but these clouds will be moving in advance of Friday's system throughout the day today. Meanwhile, there's another little break behind that before more activity comes in for the weekend. Taking a look at just kind of what's going on in the Pacific, still quite active in the Pacific here. There you can see these storm systems. Now, these particular storms may not be moving over us, but the energy that's associated with them as they kind of move down and move eastward here along the jet stream here. So there you can see, looking at Futurecast, there's all that activity out there. This is what's moving in tomorrow. Now watch what happens as we go through time. Here you can see that storm system coming in on Friday. You saw that timing of that. Friday and of course Saturday, there's the rain. Cooler air moving in by Saturday. That's the lower snow levels I was talking about. Now, remember you saw a little bit of a break on the satellite image here. That's going to be Sunday afternoon, but still enough instability for a few showers, maybe some light snow flurries in there, even Sunday afternoon. But look what's happening. We've got that jet stream kind of right on top of us, and the flow of that jet stream is basically that storm door is open. The storm door has been closed for the last week or so because of that big ridge of high pressure. Now that that high pressure is gone, we have nothing blocking these storms. So you can see this disturbance, that'll be moving in on Monday. There you can see another disturbance right here, that's moving in on Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see another disturbance back here, that's moving in towards the end of next week, Friday, and even into that Saturday. So you get the idea. I like to call this kind of a parade of storms that are out over the Pacific Ocean, and they're all heading our way and will impact us in some shape or form. As I mentioned, some days heavier than others when we're talking about that rainfall and snow as well. But overall, this wet weather pattern, I mean, we're looking at not this Saturday, but a week from Saturday. So once again, getting ahead of ourselves, and we can't look at this timing and the intensity of these storms that we're looking at now and go, that's exactly what's going to happen. We can't do that. But what we can say is be prepared for a cooler and unsettled weather pattern starting tomorrow and most likely lasting through all of next week. Now we look at the rainfall outlook. As I've mentioned this before, I'm not a big fan of showing numbers as we look at the long range because they're always, if not always, but many times, they're way off. And it gives people a false sense of too much or too little. So what I like to do, I like this map right here because what it does, it kind of shows you more of a footprint of the overall pattern and where we expect to see the most amount of rain and the least amount of rain, right? And we're seeing your typical footprint here. Out towards the coast, we're seeing some of the heaviest rainfall. Northern Trinity County, eastern mountains, especially just east of the valley, seeing the most amount of rainfall. Where we're seeing less is off towards the north, northern Siskiyou County, for example, and out towards Modoc County, and eastern portions of Lassen and Plumas counties as well. And the valley is seeing your typical amounts of rain out of this as well. Most of it will be in the north end of the valley, even around Chico, seeing a decent amount of rain, but you head into where we typically get that rain shadow. For parts of the valley, we tend to see a little less rainfall as a result. But bottom line, we look at this through next Wednesday. This is a pretty healthy amount of rain heading our way. I don't anticipate any flooding concerns. I don't anticipate there to be major problems with mudslides and debris flows, but to be continued. I mean, that's something we'll have to watch and monitor. But for now, I'm not anticipating it to be one of those just downpours for a long period of time. This is off and on rain. This is the way and the best way that we like to get our rain, right? Because that's when we start running into less issues, but we get a lot of that much needed rainfall, right? So there you can see the Climate Prediction Center through the end of the month is keeping us in that above normal category when we're talking rain, and not to mention the below normal category when it comes to those temperatures. This is good because we're going to see the rain in the valley, welcomed rain, right? And we're going to be adding more to our snowpack, which for the most part, snowpack is about where we should be for this time of the year. So the more we get, anything we get here is just a bonus. So things are looking quite good for us when it comes to that water. There you can see your marine forecast. South winds at 5 to 15 knots. Waves from the south at 5 feet at 5 seconds. And from the west at 4 feet at about 16 seconds. No alerts for today. But by this evening and into tomorrow, there will be a small craft advisory. Why? Well, take a look at this. Here we are today at 5 p.m. You know, the wave heights aren't that much of a concern. That's why there's no small craft advisory. But look what happens as we go into Friday. Yep, we're starting to see those wave heights begin to increase here. So that's something to be aware of if you do need to be on a small boat. Temperatures today, I think, struggling to reach that 70-degree mark, especially for the north end of the valley, but we'll average it out around 70 for most of us in the valley. Temperatures in the mountains, not too bad. Mid to upper 50s, maybe some low 60s in there. Mid 60s for Trinity County, upper 60s to around 70 inland. And looks like in the upper 50s to low 60s for the coast. Looking at your 7-day outlook, region by region for the valley, there's that chance for showers and thunderstorms Friday and Saturday, more often on showers Sunday, all the way through not only Wednesday, but really most likely the end of next week. We could see some isolated thunderstorms for the coast, not only Saturday, but maybe even Friday. Slimmer chances for thunderstorms inland, but don't be surprised if you hear a few rumbles of thunder the next few days as well. And for Weaverville, look at those snow levels, 6,000 feet to start off. Then we get down to as low as 3,500 feet for Saturday, Sunday. So Weaverville, Hayfork, yeah, all in the form of rain during this whole event here. You can see snow levels will rise as we go into early next week. Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville, there you can see those temperatures are dropping. We're down to the 40s. by the weekend. So yes, it's cooling off in the mountains, but also as a result, with those cooler temperatures, we've got lower snow levels as well.